Hi, good morning. We're here with Harry Ricks from Accountabl. How are you doing, Harry?
Yeah, I'm very well, Mike. How are you doing yourself?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. So let's just kick off straight away. If you'd like to give us an intro as to who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it for, please.
Yeah, sure. So Harry Ricks and founder and CEO of Accountabl. So we are a B2B expense management platform with a bit of a twist. So we automate finance processes, save businesses time and money through really kind of streamlined automated tools. But also what we do is we look to add a real kind of impact through carbon tracking and carbon monitoring of expenses. So not only does it really help businesses manage and control their spending, it's also getting them to think about their carbon footprint and the broader impact of what they do and the purchases that their business makes. So we've been doing this now. It's a new launch, the brand Accountabl, which has been around for a month, but we were previously known as ExpenseMates, which is a business that's been in the expense market for 2.5 years now.
Cool. Definitely a service for the 21st century and where we're going with things. So in terms of the last couple of years and you transitioning the business from ExpenseMate to Accountabl, how was COVID in terms of what was its biggest impact for you guys?
I think the biggest impact of COVID for us was, there were two really, one positive and one negative. Being an expense management provider, you can imagine the negative is that the world came to a stop and people weren't traveling. But you can imagine the impact that had on the business in terms of our growth trajectory. But what did happen that's been really positive coming out of COVID is that the digitization of businesses and businesses looking at digital transformation far more seriously and looking at it in a far more optimistic way and something that's actually pretty critical to business success. So now a lot of the customers that we speak to, you're showing them a SaaS platform and it's not the first SaaS platform they've seen. They're using other tools. In terms of the employees, we've got apps and cards that we give out to employees, that they're very much used to using cards and mobile apps. Finance workers are now used to, moving away from paper-based processes onto digital platforms. We offer a really intuitive tool. So for those businesses, we're a great option for them to digitize. It's really simple to use. But also, just finance directors, business directors are much more open to taking on tools like that. And we can communicate through them via tools like Zoom. So we're not having to travel to go see all of our clients. We can make great connections with them virtually, which enables us to target a lot more companies and make more of an impact. So slow to begin with as a result of the pandemic. But now that we're kind of moving into a more normal world, there's a lot of benefits for us from the change of perceptions that people have had around technology.
And that shift over that 2 years from where things were going at a steady pace, it just kind of went exponential, really. People just got on with it and moved it at a faster pace. Good stuff. So are there any actions that you've taken within the business that as a consequence of COVID that you might have kept that have actually stuck with the business, so you had to transform yourself?
I think the features of the product that we have. So a lot of transactions went online during COVID. So that meant as a business we had to shift the way that the product worked. So listening to the types of transactions that customers are making, lots of online transactions, and making sure that the product was suitable for those types of purchases. So that was a big impact that was taken, and also just the way that we reached out to our customers, as I mentioned previously. Less kind of face-to-face meetings and outbound sales reps, more focus on building a really strong brand and something that was marketable online, so that we could reach people through new channels that were becoming more prevalent in a world where people didn't want to pick up the phone because they maybe weren't in the office, and I think that has really kind of continued into the new world that we live in. Is people now much more difficult to get a hold of, and that they want to really raise their hands before being reached out to. So we're trying to really focus on that approach, making sure that people see the value in us before maybe reach out to them.
Yeah, opt themselves in, see what you do. Good stuff. So in terms of a business for you, what does the future look like now, and what do you see as the main challenges are going forward?
Yeah, well, we're in a really exciting point in our journey where we demonstrated product market fit with some core customer groups. We know we're doing really well in the builders merchant industry, manufacturing, and some engineering and construction companies, as they have remote sales teams that are out and about purchasing goods that they want to control and capture the receipts instantly. So we've got that product market fit, and now it's about scaling the business. So we're looking to go through an investment round in the near future, where we'll be able to reach out to more of those companies, and that means that it's a growth period for us, where we're taking on new members of staff, developing new features, and starting to look into things like unique propositions, like the carbon tracking element of what we're doing. So that's really our direction of travel. Was there another part of the question? Sorry.
No, it was just what the future looks like and any main challenges. I mean, I suppose contained in there, a fast growth business is what obviously the plan is, by the sounds of it. So any sort of specific challenges that you might sort of feel with that, taking on staff, things like that?
Well, yeah, everyone knows that taking on staff is an easy thing to say, but trying to find at the moment is really difficult. We also have an element of our product that is credit lending. So the way that the system actually works is we have prepaid cards that link into the SaaS software. So as soon as you spend on the card, the system automatically knows how much you spent, where you spent the money, and exactly what time it was. So everyone gets a real-time visibility of what people are spending. You can capture receipts. So that's the really unique part of the product, but that does mean that we provide credit on those cards, and as interest rates increase, that's quite a significant risk to our business, that the cost of finance is increasing. So that's something that we've got to be really wary of. And also, if we are lending to businesses, if insolvencies increase, that is also a significant business risk for us. So we have to be quite careful with not who we're lending to, which is not a nice position to be in. We obviously want everybody to have access to cash flow, but just to kind of reduce the risk as a business, that's one of our kind of key challenges.
Protecting yourself, definitely a core consideration for the future of the business. So just kind of moving on then, in terms of your biggest learning since you've been a business owner, is there one thing you can kind of pull out and say, this is the key learning I've had? I appreciate there's probably many, but
I think, and this is going to be really blowing smoke up action coach, but how to be a coach to the people in your business. You're only as good as the people that you have working with and around you. So my biggest learning has been to be the best possible coach to the people that are around me, and trying to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful and achieve what they need to achieve in their goals, so that we can achieve our common goal, which is obviously growth and expansion, and launching exciting products to the market. So for me, the biggest learning has been how I kind of do that, and support the people around me to achieve their potential.
Brilliant, like that. It's a good learning. So if we were to go back in time, looking at you, it can't be too far back in time, but if at 18, is there a piece of advice you'd give to yourself if you sort of knowing what you know now?
don't be too hard on yourself when you get things wrong. It's always, if you've got an idea, try it, but be ready to let go of it. It's not working, and don't beat yourself up. Take something from it, and keep going, and eventually you'll have a good idea that works. And I think people can be afraid of failure and putting themselves out there, but if you don't try, then you're not gonna ever get to where you want to be. So just be fearless and try things.
And definitely, I think in terms of trying, sometimes you try something, didn't happen quite as you expected it, but it revealed another opportunity for you. So if you hadn't tried, it might not be the end result you planned on, but it still could be a good result, or there's doors that can open for you. So yeah, like that. In terms of inspiration then, is there anything that inspires you sort of currently or throughout life? So whether it's leading your team, friends, family, could be things you listen to or read, people in the media.
I take a lot of inspiration from my family, to be honest. So I'm part of a family business, a group of businesses, and I'm always inspired by the fact that we've been in business for 150 years. And recently I did a piece of work where I tracked back my kind of like generations of my family, back 6 generations, to look at kind of the foundations of where the Rick's business came from. So I'm always inspired by previous family members and what they managed to achieve to pass things on to the next generation. And really that's my goal, is to build stable businesses for future generations of my family and the people that work within the Rick's organization.
Inspiration there. Carry on the family tradition. Good stuff.
I'm already retirement planning at the age of 28.
Well, I think in terms of schools and stuff like that, it should really start at a young age, young as possible. Once children have a sort of grasp of life, I suppose, maybe from the age of 10 or something like that. But finances and business, it's not taught in schools, and it really should be, because that's the point. If you can start, the earlier you can start, the better chances you are further down the line of creating wealth and being able to sort of secure your family's future. So
I was at an event on Saturday where this was the debate: is the education system fit for purpose for the modern world? And I think the majority of views of people that were in the networking group was that no, it doesn't. So we've got a job to do to educate the people around us to make sure that they do pick up those important skills from a young age.
Good stuff. And then lastly, are there any sort of, I suppose, you might not have specific promotions, but any latest news just about Accountabl that you may want to share with the rest of the community? Yeah,
so we've got our expense products, as already mentioned, which is all about automating and giving out cards to employees to make sure that they're empowered and can spend what they need, but keep control of the business. But we've also developed some underlying technology that actually supports the carbon calculations in our products. And we're actually opening up that API to other businesses. So it's a great feature for us where we can say, if you traveled from A to B, it has this carbon impact. But we can have the greatest impact as a company if we can share that API with other technology platforms, telematics providers, fuel card companies, other expense platforms, to make sure that they can embed the sustainability KPIs into their platform, much like we do. So if anybody's out there listening to this that has a business in that area and would be interested in baking in carbon calculations to their tool, we've got an open API that's really simple to integrate with. It's just a day or two's work that could start to get people thinking about metrics beyond money and profit, and thinking about the broader impact that we have on the world around us.
That's it. Brilliant. Sounds like a good innovation, and one that's really good to be able to share. Good stuff. Thanks, Harry. Most appreciated for your time. It's been really good talking to you. All the best with everything in the future of the business.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And thanks everybody for listening.